Let's talk Tanya for the 4th of Teves. We're in the middle of a discussion about the animal soul, trying to understand it better, the way it works, what makes it tick. And specifically, we're trying to figure out what are its garments, its expressions. What are thoughts, speech, and actions that are associated with the animal soul? And this got us into a larger discussion about klipa in general, because the animal soul, its substance is klipa, so understanding klipa helps us understand what the animal soul is after. So in previous days, we've talked about how the world generally is divided into two parts. There's kedusha, holiness, that which is transparent to the godly truth. And then there is klipa, translates as a shell or the other side, something which distorts and conceals its godly truth. However, within klipa, there are two levels of klipa. There's a lower level of klipa, which we talked about yesterday. That level of klipa, of unholiness, which doesn't have the potential to be elevated and to be redeemed. And then there's the higher level of klipa, which is called klipas noiga, which we're going to be talking about today. So actually, it turns out the world is divided into three parts: holiness, the lower level of klipa called gimel klipas atmeis, and the middle level, the level of klipas noiga, which is going to be our discussion today. Klipas noiga is anything in the world which is not a mitzvah, but also which is not forbidden, which is the vast majority of objects in this world, that they're permitted, anything which is kosher, and also the vast majority of actions in this world, eating, sleeping, exercising, shopping, all these things, they're not a mitzvah, but they're also not forbidden. When I interact with something which is klipas noiga, there are three possible outcomes. And in today's Tanya, we're going to talk about two of those outcomes. The first possible outcome is if I engage something which is klipas noiga, and I have no holy intentions, but also there's nothing wrong with it. Meaning, let's say I'm eating something. I wake up in the morning, I'm having my breakfast, I'm having my oatmeal or my cereal and milk or my toast, or whatever it may be. And why am I eating it? Because I'm hungry, because I need to eat it in order to be able to survive. What is the outcome of that behavior? The energy in the food, the energy in that oatmeal, and also the energy that I'm expending in that action were not impacted at all by what I did. And why is that? What's the rationale over here? It is my animal soul that's hungry. It is my animal soul that's eating it. Because my godly soul, its garments are mitzvahs. And it's not a mitzvah to eat this oatmeal. It's and my animal soul, what is it? It's klipas noiga. The animal soul of a Jew is klipas noiga. So my animal soul is ingesting oatmeal, which is also klipas noiga. My animal soul, which is klipas noiga, is ingesting the oatmeal, which is klipas noiga. So nothing happened. Lost opportunity. That's one possible outcome, is again, I interact, I engage klipas noiga, and I don't impact it, I don't elevate it, but I also don't in any which way drag it down. The next outcome the Alter Rebbe discusses, which is obviously the ideal outcome, is that I elevate it. How do I elevate it? If when I am engaging in that act, I am not my animal soul, I am my godly soul. What does it mean that I'm my godly soul? I'm hooked into my godly soul, which means I'm doing it for God. I'm doing it because it's part of my service of God. Yes, I'm eating that oatmeal. It's not about what I'm doing. It's why I'm doing it, or even a deeper sense, who I am when I'm doing it. Then why am I eating it? Because I need the energy to serve God. Then what I'm doing is I'm actually elevating that which was up until this point klipas noiga, and now because it is me, my godly soul, that's engaging it, it's elevated to the level of holiness and godliness, the level of my godly soul. The words that the Alter Rebbe uses in Tanya is it's ka'oila u'chakarban. It is like a sacrifice that is brought on the altar in the holy temple. Imagine that. You're sitting in the morning and you're having your oatmeal, and that oatmeal, it's as if you're taking it, and it's like you're a kohen, a priest who's bringing a karban in the holy temple, a sacrifice in the holy temple. What's very interesting is that Alter Rebbe, the examples, when he wants to illustrate what does it mean to do something for the sake of heaven, to do something with holy intentions, he gives two examples. One example is someone who has a piece of quality meat, prime beef, a good steak, and some good wine, quality wine. The words of the Alter Rebbe, yain mevusam, fragrant wine, and the purpose is to expand the mind, to be able to study Torah better, which is very interesting. The Alter Rebbe is telling us our ability to elevate the world around us, as long as it's klipas noiga, as long as it's permitted, is not only in the area of necessities. It's not only about the oatmeal and the Cheerios. It could be even the areas which are considered indulgences. It could be even those areas that are, you might want to say, luxuries. Those too are necessary in life. But when they are part of a holistic life which is meant to serve God, yes, right now I need a pick-me-up. So I need a good piece of meat. I need an ice cream. But why do I need it? Because I'm not about me. I'm about serving God. I'm plugged into my godly soul. And I need to have that expansive feeling that that good piece of meat or that cup of wine is going to bring me. Not only don't I have to feel bad about having that luxury, about indulging, to the contrary, it becomes a carbon. It is the holiest of acts. I'm engaging the world and I'm elevating the world. And that is the purpose of Klipas Noiga. Anything which is permitted could and should be elevated. That is my job over here in this world. And tomorrow we will discuss the third possible outcome when a person engages with Klipas Noiga.